Okay, hopefully this is working. I'm having a few issues with OBS. They keep changing stuff. I don't like it when people change stuff. If it's working, leave it alone. Hopefully someone will let me know that you can hear me, you can see me, everything's working. We do have something of a delay, so I'll give it a minute. La 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 la. Okay, well, I think it's working, so I'm going to assume it's working until somebody says it's not. Grab yourself a drink of your choice and a sketchbook and something to draw with, and let's have a chill sketchbook sesh again, shall we? I rather enjoyed last week, so I thought it was fun. Haven't done any drawing this today, so it's weird talking on a live stream when there's no one to talk to. So weird. Deb! Hi, Deb. Thank you. It's working. Okay. See, there's people here to talk now. You won't be able to shut me up. Oh, I did draw these this morning, and I don't like them. Hey, Pelican. These are very, very stiff, and I do not like when my drawings come out stiff, but of course they do when it's first thing in the morning and you haven't drawn anything yet. So I'm going to see if I can salvage them in some way by loosening them up a bit and drawing some mushrooms. I have put in the description, I've put a link to my Pinterest board where I've got mushrooms and giraffes. Don't know if we'll get round to drawing giraffes today, but I like giraffes. They've got weird, goofy faces, and they pull some really strange expressions. These are actually from the first set. So this is one of the brown mushrooms in the first picture. This is the blue umbrella mushroom, and this is the pink little round button mushroom underneath it. They just look really stiff, and I don't like it when they look stiff. So we're going to do something about it. We're going to make it a bit more fun and free. Hopefully. You'll have to excuse my grotty bandage. I don't know. I hate these bandages. They get dirty so quickly. This has been on like an hour and it's already filthy and I hate it, but I'm allergic to other bandages. But I've got a hangnail that is too deep to cut it off. So I'm putting a bandage on it, A, to stop it hardening and then catching on things, which is a guaranteed way to cause it problems. But also so that it grows out soft so I can cut it off without getting it infected. But until it grows out enough to cut it off safely, it's got to stay in a bandage. Sorry about that. Honour the gods. There's a screen name. I recognise that screen name. I know you from somewhere. Who's that? I know that screen name. Who are you, damn it? Speak. Can't get this open again. I don't know why these get stuck, but they do. Oh, it's because I've literally stuck it together with the eraser. I managed to get eraser stuck in the latch. Yeah. To clean that out. Juno, hey! Came to finally finish a digital drawing you've had sitting there for a while. Excellent! Excellent. That's the plan. No pressure, you know. Just grab your sketchbook, do something, do some warm-ups so you can go and finish a drawing that you've been waiting to do for months. Or if you're already warmed up, grab the drawing, you know. It's just a chance to just sit down and actually be in your sketchbook for a while. Or your journal. Arthur! I thought I recognised the name. Yes. I did recognise you. Yeah, just whatever you want to do. I'm just going to sit and play in my sketchbook. Because that's what I do. I've got some painting to do later, so been doing some stuff since last week. This was just a quick warm-up sketch yesterday. Not quite happy with it. I love this one. I love this fox. It's two foxes. I love this fox. I'm not so happy with the background fox. I drew its body too big for its head. You actually shouldn't be able to see any of this part of its body and most of this part of its body, so I don't know, maybe I can fix that with the background, but it's only a warm-up sketch. I don't really care to fix it, so I'm going to erase some of this. This is just, I think I did this one in coloured pencil, and then I did these in pencil, so oops, this should just lift nice and easily. You wish you could draw? Well, grab a pencil and start drawing. That's how you learn to draw. People do not just pop out of the womb able to draw. Some people are gifted enough to pop out of the womb with a ability to draw, not an ability to draw, but an aptitude for drawing. Just as some people are born mathematicians or born scientists or even born writers, but it's a skill you can learn. If you want to learn it, you'll learn it. The problem is, hey John, the problem is learning to draw in a way that you enjoy and not judging yourself for not being able to draw. This is something I say a lot over on my Patreon and in my classes and stuff like that, whether it's writing or drawing or sewing, for goodness sake. It doesn't matter what it is. If you haven't done it since you were in high school, then expect to draw like a 14, 15, 16-year-old and go from there. If you haven't drawn since you were in school, expect to draw like a 10-year-old and go from there. And anything you do that's better than a 10-year-old, that's a bonus. Danny Gregory. Arthur, go and check out Danny Gregory. He is an artist, a sketchbook artist, an urban sketcher who just draws the stuff around him. No training, no oh well, he has experience now, but originally he just started drawing. I believe his wife was ill. If I remember correctly, his wife was ill and he had a lot of hanging around in hospitals to do, and he decided to just take a pen and paper with him, and he just started drawing whatever he could see. And he himself will tell you that his first drawings were absolute trash. But you know, that's, if you've never drawn before, would you expect to be able to get into a Formula 1 race car and win a race straight away? No. So just try to lay off the judgment. Critique is one thing. Look at it and say, well, you know, I drew this tree and my proportions are off. Or my colours are off. I could stand to learn a bit more about that. You know, but that's how you learn. That's critique, and that's honest critique. But just try to avoid the, well, I drew this tree and it's absolutely crap. If you could hold it up to a 5-year-old and say, what's that a drawing of? And they said, it's a tree. Then you're doing well. But be warned, 5-year-olds are brutal and they will tell you if it's a bad tree, and then they will explain to you how to draw a tree properly. So just be warned. Hey, Rish. Oh, everybody's back from holiday today. There goes your peace and quiet. Okay, I'm going to redraw these with... what do I have on the back of here? Okay, so I don't want to use anything that's going to bleed, so let's use my Ecolines. I was going to use my Super Tips, just my Crayola Super Tips, but maybe not. Like I say, the The reference pictures I'm using are actually in the links below. Well, not the exact reference photos, but it's links to my Pinterest board, and I'm on my Pinterest board, so I'm sure you'll be able to find something to draw, or at least whatever it is I'm drawing. I'm doing the same thing I did last week, which I really enjoyed, for a quick, well, I say quick, it was 3.5 hours, but a chill sketchbook session of just warming up, doing fun stuff, not really worrying about whether it looks perfect or not, just, you know. I've really enjoying this technique of just going in with brush pens and just doing the colouring and then going in and detailing it afterwards. I may have started a bit dark there, but I usually start with pastel colours because it seems to work better, but does it look good to begin with? No. Do we care? No. It's just getting my hand warmed up. I'm not trying to make anything pretty. I'm just sketching. Pickle! Hi, Pickle. Good advice. Thank you. Well, you know, sometimes all you need is somebody to just say to you, look, it doesn't matter if it looks wonky, just draw it anyway. If you enjoyed the process, especially if you're, you know, like with Arthur's like, well, I wish I could draw. Are you? Do you really wish you could draw? Or are you just looking at what I can do and going, oh, I wish I could do that? Or are you just saying it because that's what you feel like you should be saying? It's a great way to just, you know, grab a cheap sketchbook. This isn't even a sketchbook. This is a moleskin plain notebook. Look at this. Look at this paper. It bleeds. It crinkles. It's crappy. It is not a proper sketchbook. And I just use whatever in it. The only reason I'm not using the super tips, the Crayola super tips that I was going to use, is because I actually do like this drawing. Oh, well, these are bleeding anyway, so yeah, whatever. I like this drawing. I like this fox. I don't like this one. So what I might do is like use some tracing paper and just trace out that part, because I do like that part. Trace it onto a new page and then redraw this one, and then I can paint it, because I didn't do anything with it because I wasn't really happy with that one. But I love how loose this sketch is, so maybe I can do something with it in another sketchbook. I don't know. Anyway, now I know I can use my super tips anyway. I'm going to grab my super tips because I like the Ecolines, but they're very pigment heavy, and I don't have a lot of colours. And also, they're nice pens, they're good supplies, and I find that using good supplies sometimes puts you off drawing loosely. There's something about using your nice watercolours or your nice pens that just sometimes it can make you feel like you should be drawing in a particular way. And, you know, just grabbing a kid's felt tip is a lot less pressure. That said, I don't have a brown. Yay. What's this colour? Will this colour do? Oh, I can't get the lid off. There we go. That's a peachy pink. That'll do for this one, actually. This is a peachy colour, this one. That's not true, it's a pink. I put that stem right where I was going to draw this one. Oh well, we'll overlap them. Doesn't matter. I'm just going to outline the shape that I drew in pencil. See, it's already looser because I've just outlined it with a big chunky fibre tip pen. There's some dark in here. I've got some dark lines. Little tip for you, and this is not my tip, this comes from John Muir-Law, who is the ultimate, well, he's the ultimate painter of mushrooms, but he's also a nature journalist. He's the nature journalist. Cody, hey! When you draw like this, what are they called? The vents under a mushroom. Put a little circle there and then aim for those vents to be in line with that circle. Otherwise, what happens is you kind of end up with vents that don't go all the way around the mushroom. He's got a video on YouTube about how to draw a mushroom, and he goes into great length and great detail about how to do it and why. But that's my short version. There's lots of dark shadow areas. Basically what I'm doing here is drawing the shadows. This one's all the same colour, it doesn't really have any shadows, so just drew it in straight away. I do have a bright pink that I can use. I got two pinks that look identical. I think this is the darker one. Ooh, that's bright. It's more purple actually. And this is, there we go, light pink. So, another tip. This is what I do. You'll see a lot of my markers have little bits of washi tape stuck to them. Why for do we have little bits of washi tape stuck to our markers? Well, the reason is I put a bit of washi tape on my markers so that I know that this pen is actually lighter than the colour it looks. It works for me, okay? Spirit! Hey, Spirit! Yeah. So this pink is a lot lighter than it looks. It looks almost identical to this one, but it's actually not. So let's do some in-between colouring on here. Oh, you know what? That's a really nice shadow colour. I'm not even going to bother. I'm just going to colour the whole thing in. I do have to be careful on this paper that I don't get it too wet, but that's giving a really nice shadow colour with the layering, so it'll do nicely. That's bled through, but nah, who cares? And where's that pale one? This one. This mushroom is white, but it has big blobs on it, and I don't know if they're jelly blobs or water blobs or dew blobs or what, but we're going to put them on and we'll figure it out later. They are big 3D blobs of something something. Do my drawings look terrible right now? Yes, they do. Are we going to be able to salvage it? Well, I don't actually have a light brown that will work, so I'm going to do this one in light brown. Oh, brush pens are easier to use on this paper. They don't tear the paper. It's because it's so fine. It's literally just like Moleskine Classic paper. I used to use the Kaye versions in my traveller's notebook, but then somebody pointed out that actually these soft cover ones are exactly the same. And now I'm addicted to these big things. I also have a... Oh, didn't do the legs. Legs? No, that's not the right word, is it? Stem. There we go. That's what we're looking for. I also have... Actually, I'm going to put these away because I am actually enjoying the Ecolines more, which is weird. I don't usually do that, but... I usually prefer my super tips in this book, but today I seem to be enjoying the Ecolines ever since I pulled them out to do those otters the other week. I'm really into them. Where's that mushroom gone that I was using as a... Oh, it's all... Oh, it's a big patch. Okay, so we've got a big patch of brown going on here. It's a very dark brown for... A lot darker than I've planned. But we can work, we'll work with it. We'll work with it. It's fine. Again, working to the point in the centre, the imaginary point into the centre. And curving it around the width of the mushroom. And got some dark sections in there where the mushroom is broken. So we'll fill those in. Yeah, I should have used a lighter pink for that, I think. Let's draw another one. So I like this funny little... Oh, here's a cute mushroom. Ooh, this is a cute pale pink mushroom. Let's do that one. Actually, there's a group of them. That would be fun. Let's do the group. Okay. So they're kind of that shape. There's another one here, which has got a chunk out of it. I'm not trying to draw exactly like the reference. I'm using the reference because I prefer to draw real mushrooms as opposed to imaginary mushrooms, if that makes sense. I'm not much of a one for fantasy. If I'm going to draw people, I'm going to draw actual people, not characters. If I'm going to draw mushrooms, I'm going to draw mushrooms that actually exist, not ones I made up. It's just how I am. I like the... I'm not into realism so much as reality. Does that make sense? Hey Mika! Your sister came back broken. Oh! She's had the experience that you were worried about having if you went, by the sounds of it. I hope she's doing okay. There comes a point where family holidays are no longer fun. Okay, so these now have, well, these are much darker stems, but I'm not going to worry about that because I can darken them up. It's fine that they're dark. These are all coming out of a very similar area. Down here somewhere. Can just see the top of that one, and this one is coming, this one's kind of overlapping that way, and actually coming out of the top there. And then we've got some green. I need to get some more of these pastel colours. I thought I'd be into pastel colours, but here we are. For doing layering, pastels are a good place to start. I blame Ahoohoo for this because they brought out the pastel set of markers and I'm addicted. Where have we gone? Okay, we've got, this is a tree with some moss. So I'm just going to do a base colour, but I'm going to do it streaky so that it already looks like bark before we begin. Maybe this can be coming down here and these mushrooms can be grown at the base of the tree, because why not? Let's put some more nondescript green down here for no reason. There we go. A bit more green up there for no reason. Oh, chat is hurtling by today. Wow, okay. I do have super chats as well. Just so you know. You got 4 new scarves. None of which you like. Let me guess. Hey, if all else fails, chop them up, use them for wiping your paintbrushes on. You'd love to send me some photos of your work. You're 14? So you don't have social media, I would assume. I do have social media. I'm on Instagram at Romany, or my email address is actually down below. But you can just send me a link. Just send me a link. Or, actually, we've got mods in. If you've got like Instagram or something, put your link in the chat. I'll go have a look. You love to draw. That's the trick. Okay, pickle. No matter what anybody tells you, no matter what anybody tries to convince you of, if you love to draw, keep drawing. That's the secret to being able to draw as an adult. You don't stop when you're a kid and you still love it. You don't allow all the stuff about school and everything else to take you away from it. You use it as a way to record what you're doing, or remember what you need to remember, or just relax in between exams and all that rubbish that you have to do, you know. Just keep that love of it, and don't let anybody tell you it's a waste of time, because if you love it and you enjoy it, it's not a waste of time. And that's the only advice I would ever give someone young. If you love drawing, keep drawing, no matter what anybody tells you. You love my mushroom. I haven't done anything to it yet, but thank you. Or do you mean you like the mushroom on the Pinterest? Because that would make more sense. Juno's back. Oh, she's going away with just her and her boyfriend. That's a good idea. Decompress. Well, when you need a holiday after you come back from being on holiday with your family, that's how you know going on holiday with the family is not for you. Your mum likes them. If your mum likes them, tell her she can borrow them anytime she wants. Leave them in her room if you have to. At least somebody appreciates them. And then you can say, oh, well, you know, Mum stole them. She liked them more than I did. See, Risha made that mistake. Risha's actually in my Patreon class for drawing. She made that mistake of not keeping her drawing, even though she loved doing it. And it's taken her 2 years to get back to the point where she loves drawing again. And is making progress with it. So, yeah. No matter what anybody tells you. Drawing and reading. Neither is a waste of time if you enjoy it. This should be dry now. That's why we were talking, so I could get it to dry. Let's grab some pencils and some pens. See what we can do to salvage this mess. Okay. I don't think there's going to be any salvaging of that blue one. I think it's too dark. But we might be able to salvage the others. Is this pink? Yep, this is pink. Start down here. So we've got an orangey thing here. And I don't know what these bubbles are, but they're kind of... I keep forgetting that I can zoom in on the picture. Okay, go away. I don't want that. Just want to see the picture. Thank you. Okay. So there's kind of dark bits and light bits. So in here, I'm just going to put in some more definition. I should be doing this with pink. Orange is not going to show up on pink. I can hear Maddie behind me rolling her eyes at me. There we go. So this is all shaded. And this is all ripply up here in places. There's places where it comes out of the side of the mushroom, but I'm just gonna, I already put some shading in there, so I'm just gonna kind of go in between the shading to make scales. Mark that line in there because that's easily to see. This is quite dark. And then, yeah, I think these might be, I don't know if they're coming out of the mushroom or if they're like water on the mushroom. They're kind of weird. It looks almost like jelly that's coming out of the mushroom stalk, so. But it's clear. It's kind of clear yellowy liquid. So I'm gonna just put a bit of shadow into it, like that. Again, we're not trying to make pretty pictures here, we're just drawing from like observation. It's a good idea to go out and do this like in your garden or in a park or something like that, because it means that you can really start playing around with different things and seeing what works, just trying different stuff. Why is this not changing picture? Here we go. So this blue one's too dark. We need some white is what we need. Let's use this big chunky, this is very waxy, but it's also very white. And I think I can, yeah, that works. That works, there we go. Get some, it's got some white bits on it. We can punch the colours up later, but it's actually got this kind of texture all over it, which is interesting. Not a lot going on there. We got a little bit of white on the stem on one side there. Throw that in, that's better. I want a darker blue. Prussian blue, that'll do. Just kind of blend out this dark shadow I put in a little bit, rough up the edges. It's really dark up in there, but like the edges here kind of thin out so you can see the water through it. No, the light. Light. No, you can see light through it, not water. What is she talking about? Does she know? No. Of course, we got some shadow here, like that. Maybe do some texture on the stem a little bit, like that. That'll do. Moonbeam! Oh, Stella, hi! Stella the Husky's here. Miss Maddie. Oh, Scooby. Scooby, the shepherd husky collie, is here. Hi. You come to say hello to Moonbeam. Hello, Jitterbug. Scooby's very old. He's 14. And he's a bit discombobulated these days. He gets the collie wobbles, don't you, babe? The downside of shepherds, hip dysplasia. Hey, Bubble. Good boy. Okay, I'm going to colour this bit in here. Knock that blue back so we can't see it. There we go, that's better. I need some white in here. Gel pen or Posca. Let's use the Posca. I don't have a lot of luck with Poscas, but they have a tendency to bleed everywhere or you know, you're supposed to do that to get them going, and then I get them going and then they stop, so I do that again, and then there's a big puddle of paint everywhere. But we'll give it a try. Where's the pink one gone? Nope, that's not the one I'm after. There it is. So this has, in between these, it has white bits. See, it's dried up again. Sorry for the shaking camera. If I'm touching the desk when I shake stuff, then the camera shakes. Well, that's not working properly. Let's try this one. Ah, maybe that one's just dry. Ha! There we go. That's more like it. And this has a little white section here. It has some white marks along the top, and it actually makes the edge look a little bit funky and not straight. Holding my hand and my pen up off the paper so that I can get random marks. Okay, that's better. Oh, we got the white. We got white shining through these bits on the bubbles, and the actual mushroom itself is white down here. So we might as well colour that in a bit. I'm not going to colour it all in because it's on white paper and, well, cream paper. But by not colouring it in solidly, that cream will show through and give it us a little bit of texture. Okay, so this Posca does not work. Let's put that in the bin. I don't like that Poscas are not refillable, but they are recyclable, so I put them in the recycling. Depending on where you are, they're recyclable. Okay. Blue. Get this one a little bit more defined because it doesn't look good right now. Anybody else drawing along? I hope so, or something. Get your sketchbooks out, I mean, if you don't draw and you prefer to read, get your reading book out and sit with us, and while you read your book. That works too. Journal. Planner. I mean, why not? One Book July starts next week, I believe. Oh, is it next week or this week? 29, 30. Oh, it starts this week. It starts on Friday. I believe Vicky and Carrie have got videos coming out soon. But go follow them on Instagram. If you go back 2 videos, there's an intro for One Book July this year, because I'm not running it. I don't have the bandwidth this year. Carrie and Vicky are in charge, and I'm sure they'll do a great job. Trying to work on drawing cats. It's impossible to draw a cat. The reason it's impossible to draw a cat is because they don't have any shape. Anybody who can draw a cat and have it look like a cat is dabbling in voodoo. I speak from experience. Not of voodoo, of not being able to draw cats. Drew a great hamster once. Painting red mushrooms. Awesome. Okay, that's looking a bit better. That's looking a bit more like a mushroom. There we go. This is definitely looking like I like this one. I like this one a lot. This one needs some more pink. But I'm liking this. This is cool. A bit more pink in between here. Give it a little bit more depth in certain areas. And then we've got kind of a serrated edge thing going here. I don't think serrated is the word I'm looking for, but you get the idea. If you can hear gross licking sounds in the background, that's Maddie. She's found her zombie bone once again. So it's got some little patches of peach colour at the back. And this, because I outlined it in yellow, looks in peach, looks a bit weird, so I'm gonna, because it should be white, so I'm just gonna treat it like it's a shadow. And the light's coming from that direction already, so let's just throw a shadow in there and be done with it. There we go. This brown one, I have a brown pen. I have a brown ballpoint pen. Oops. That one. There we go. Okay, so he's got kind of an orangey colour in here where the light's coming through. So I'm gonna let me just write down. Do I need that? Yes, I need that. That's the brown pencils that I need to order from Cult Pens tomorrow. Ballpoint Eco Lines. That's what I've used so far. I'm not going to put this super tips down because I only used one for one thing, and then I switched back because that's the way I work. We got some golden sections on here. This brown is far too dark, but don't matter. I'm not trying to make it perfect. Brown. Yes, you can get brown Bic ballpoints. Did I just hallucinate? Is Cody in twice? Or is... No. Paper Story is not... Paper Story is not Cody, is it? I'm confused now because... Yeah. Hi. They love drawing cats. Okay. There's always somebody who enjoys drawing cats. It doesn't make cats any easier to draw. They still don't have a shape. And if you don't have a shape, how can you draw it? Actually, my cat did have a shape. It was shaped like a hamster. I'm better with dogs. Oh, you are, Cody? I thought you were. That really confused me. Don't confuse me. One of the reasons I like this method of warm-up sketching is because, in fact, just sketching in general actually these days, there's so much room for error that you almost can't be perfectionist about it. Not that perfectionism is something that I particularly get stuck on, but I do like to get in with the details. I really do like to get stuck into the details, and I can spend hours, especially with ballpoint pens. I can spend a ridiculous amount of time rendering the slightest little section, and it gets a little bit tiring and a little bit engrossing, and we do the old hyperfocus thing. It's not good, especially when you're just warming up your hand. You don't want to cripple your hand before you start working on something else. So yeah, it can be a bit dangerous. That's stupid, but that's how it feels. It can be a bit dangerous to get stuck into details when all you want to do is warm your hand up. I've got itchy palms. Have I got money coming? No, I've got eczema. Okay. Yeah, I do get stuck into details and start hyper-focusing on things that I shouldn't be doing detailed stuff of. So, doing it this way kind of forces you to not focus on what it's going to look like, because you don't know what it's going to look like until you get there. Let's try this luminance pencil. I've got this luminance pencil in white. I wanted to try them, see if they were any good. I don't like it, and I don't know if it's because it's the white one or if it's just the pencils. I love my Faber-Castells. I love my polychromos. They serve different functions for different things, and I'm happy with them, but I do not like this. It feels gritty and chalky, and it reminds me of drawing with a pastel pencil, which I detest. It also doesn't show up all that well, but it is blending that biro in, so making me want to start drawing or creating in my Reckless journal. Well, go get it then. What? I don't see the problem here, other than you have to get up and go and get your journal. Teach the cat to go and get it. That's what you need. Yeah, a lot of people love these luminance pencils with Tombow markers, which I also don't like. I'm not paying twice as much for a Tombow when I can get these, and these are refillable. I've got two that have run out. I actually need to buy ink for them, but you can buy a whole bottle of ink, and then you've got the ink as well. So, well, waterproof, watercolour, isn't it? It's liquid watercolour or something you put in these. Yeah, liquid watercolour. Concentrate. And you refill them. And I don't like having things that can't be refilled. I don't mind the Ohuhus not being refillable because they last forever. And I have Copic Chows for that reason. Not a massive amount, just 2 sets of 36 that I purchased a couple of years ago for when I do proper sketchbook art or proper on paper art. I do use them as well, though, because some colours are just not available in the Ohuhus that I've got. This feels like it needs some orange. Where's my orange? Oh, well, I can't see half my colours because most of them are in here. These are all my duplicates. So if I buy a new colour, I buy 2 of it, and I put one in here and one in my main stash on my desk so that I've got a little pouch to carry with me. Some of these should not be in here. That is not a duplicate. That is not a duplicate. That is not a duplicate, but I like that colour. That is a duplicate. That is a duplicate. That's a duplicate of that, so that shouldn't be in there. There you go, that's better. Put those back before I forget. There's a darker orange as well. This is a more gingery orange. This might work better because it goes in with the, yeah, that matches the ballpoint pen tone. See, ballpoint pen doesn't really dry because it's oil based. So you can go back in over the top with a pencil and you can kind of blend out the ballpoint pen. A brownish colour down here. It's slightly darker. Oh, that's way too dark. Hang on, that's the different. That's walnut brown. I was looking for a dark brown last week and I used walnut brown and it wasn't the same colour. It wasn't dark enough. So what's going on? Have I got two walnut browns and they're different? Maybe they're different makes or something. I don't know. Anyway, let's darken up some of these patches. Oh, I want to darken up this because this is actually the inside of the mushroom where it's got little gaps. I should have put a... Oh, I did. Didn't feel like I had anything underneath. I always put something underneath, especially if I've got ballpoints on here, because this ballpoint pen, if I draw heavily on this side, the ballpoint pen, because it doesn't dry properly, will end up over here. Do you get ADHD on projects, and if so, how do you manage it? You go squirrel so often. I don't know if I have ADHD. There are many people with ADHD in my classes who are absolutely adamant that I do have ADHD. But bear in mind, I'm 50. When I was a kid, girls weren't allowed to have ADHD. It wasn't even called ADHD. You know, it was a boys' thing. I don't feel the need to be tested, but I do feel that I have a lot of traits of ADHD. I'm also dyslexic, which is why I can't say things like ADHD easily. Sorry, AC/DC came first, they win. Yes, I do have squirrel brain. Not distracted squirrel brain, like, ooh, squirrel. But it's like I've got 500 squirrels in my brain and each one has a post-it note that has something different on it and they all want my attention. And every so often I can get those squirrels to all sit down and be quiet because mummy's concentrating. Just shh, shh. This is how I do it. I do drawing and I have something else that's audio going on at the same time. So either I've got my headphones on, I'm listening to an audiobook, I've got YouTube on, just random click playlists and stuff and just put it all up. True crime stuff, films that I've watched a million times before and don't have to really watch the film so that I can concentrate on what I'm doing, and then I can focus on drawing, but yes, then I do get hyper focused and it's happened in class, and every so often it's happened on live streams, honestly. I disappear into my own little brain. It doesn't happen so much when I'm doing this because I'm talking. As long as I'm talking, I'm still here. When I stop talking or I run out of things to talk about, that's when the problems start. Or when somebody else isn't talking in class. Or if somebody else is talking in class, it's easier to concentrate. But So how do I manage it? I wish I knew as a kid what I know now about it, because I feel like in the last 8 months, almost my entire life has been explained to me by people going, you do realise you have ADHD, right? I come from a generation of, well, not a generation of children whose elders were very much, we didn't have all this ADHD when I was a kid, you know, pull up your bootstraps, put on your big girl panties and deal with it kind of thing. And anything else is just an excuse. So you learn very quickly to work around it. And the way I've found to work around it is to do things that keep as many of the squirrels occupied as possible, while the 15 or so that I need stay in line and stay focused on what I'm doing. But yeah, I have been known to hyper-focus for days, which is a problem. That's why I gave up online gaming, because I lost 3 days to online gaming. I could barely stand up. I mean, I was still, you know, getting up and getting a drink, going to the loo, all that general stuff. I wasn't literally sat at my desk for 3 days. But by the time I finished, it felt like I was. And I realised that was really not healthy. So now I don't. Yeah, Cody has ADHD, and she is far better equipped at dealing with it than I am, because I'm, like I say, I'm of that generation where even though I'm accepting of the fact that it's more than likely that I have ADHD because everything is explained. Everything is explained by that. Everything I've been brought up with says to me, yeah, but that's just an excuse. I basically talk to myself like teachers used to talk to kids with ADHD 15 years ago. Which is not a good thing, and I don't recommend it. Because put on your big girl panties and deal with it. Just sit and concentrate. It doesn't work. It has never worked. Okay, I like that one. We'll call that one done. Let's have a go at pink ones. I'm over-rendering these a bit, which I didn't really want to do. Where did those pink ones go? Did I not save them? Oh no. Where did the pink ones go? Oh, there's some more pink ones. I can use that if I have to. Yeah, those will do. I mean, they're a bit brighter, but I didn't save the one that I was using as a reference, so... But that's okay. These have got better colours anyway. Oh, sorry. My hand's itching. You're 50, yeah. Yeah, it is literally like 4,000 squirrels with a post-it note, and each one has something different. And depending on whether I've got control of them or not, I'm either hyper-focused on something and talking or listening or something at the same time, or I'm essentially a loose cannon who picks a random post-it note and starts on something. If it's something interesting enough to keep my attention, Maddie, don't climb on there, sweet pea. Hi, baby. Say hello, but don't climb on there. Do not climb on there, please. Come on, feet on the floor. Don't huff at me like I'm getting on your last nerves. Feet on the floor. Come on. I told you. Don't be getting up on there. You'll knock everything over. Come this side. Come this side and you get belly rubs. No, she wants attention. Yeah, either the squirrels will hand me a post-it note that gets me hyperfixated on something else that I probably shouldn't be doing because I've got something else to work on, or I will end up going down a rabbit hole and, 4 o'clock in the morning I'm learning how to communicate with a wombat. I mean... But for me, that's just how it is, and I think the trick is to not be too hard on yourself. I'm not in a position where I have many deadlines or anything like that. And the deadlines I do have are long-term deadlines. And that is the one thing that I need to really focus on. Like, for me, a deadline is a challenge. And you could give me a 5-year deadline and everything would still happen at the last minute. I have to force myself to manage it in advance. So I'm working on a commission at the moment for a friend's wedding in October next year, which means, and because it's an oil painting, I need to have it packed and shipped so that she can have it framed by mid-August, which means in order to have it varnished and dry, or dry and varnished rather, I need to have finished it by June next year. So I've literally just broken it down into 12 things and said, okay, for these 12 months leading up to next June, this is what I need to do. So that by next June, I'm finished and it's got time to dry before I varnish it and ship it off. So she's got time to frame it without it being arriving like a week before the wedding and stressing her out, But that's the only way I can do projects that require that kind of long-term planning. Otherwise, I would literally start it the night before. That's what I did with my dissertation. It's what I did with pretty much every essay I've ever written. It's just the way I work. And the only thing stopping it happening this time is because I literally cannot do it the night before because is oil paint. It's going to take a while to dry. So... saw a meme that says you haven't gotten anywhere by talking negative to yourself, so maybe try loving yourself. Yeah, exactly. I'm not a big one for negative talk, as you know, Cody. I do tend to be not hard on myself, but I do tend to parrot what other people have said to me in the past, which is not necessarily negative talk. It's just incorrectly reinforcing what you've been told. And every time I catch myself doing that, I turn it around. I was very lucky in that, even though I'm looking back, I obviously did have issues. I couldn't concentrate for more than 20 minutes. Everything was always late. I never had any idea where anything was. I used to spend hours and hours and hours in my room studying. And it wasn't because I was exceptionally clever and into school. It was because I needed to spend hours and hours and hours studying, because a lot of that time I was not actually studying. I was getting distracted by something else that I wanted to do. So, it's... there's a lot of juggling going on, and being hard on yourself doesn't help. But you do have to sometimes be strict with yourself. That's the only way I can... say that I've been able to manage it, is by knowing most of the time I can wing stuff. It sounds incredibly self-opinionated, but 50 years of doing it. If I have to write an essay the night before, then I'm capable of writing an essay the night before, and I'll get at least a B, and a B is good enough. Fortunately, I'm not a perfectionist with it. If I was a perfectionist, I don't think I would have survived high school. But, a B is good enough as far as I'm concerned. Done is better than perfect. I have no need for being perfect, and I owe that to my parents. They encouraged me to do things, try things, experiment with things. If it didn't work, well, you learn something you don't like. You learn something that doesn't work. You've learned 10,000 ways not to make a light bulb. I never got told off for not succeeding at something, as long as I'd tried. If I'd tried and said, actually, no, I don't think this is for me, then that's fine, you know. And I'm very grateful to have had parents like that. You know, they were very much the same. They never put their expectations on me. They wanted me to do well, but they didn't put expectations on me that were unmanageable. But I think you just have to, you have to know when you need handling. You've got to be your own mum, essentially, and you've got to know when you need handling. And with a long-term project that needs time to dry and can't be done at the last minute, I need handling. So what I'm doing is I'm checking in with my friend who I'm doing the painting for, and she is holding me to it. You know, if she doesn't hear from me for a bit, you know, she'll say, "How's the painting coming along? What have you done? Let me see. How's it going?" You know. But because I have that check-in set up with her, I'm actually checking in with her more than she's having to chase me. So that's working. But if I don't have a deadline, then I don't worry about it. It gets done when it gets done. Bonus of being an adult is that you don't really have that many deadlines unless it involves work. And, you know, my deadlines for work involve, at this time, every week, twice a week, you will be at this place, logged on, with a cup of coffee and ready to go. You may not know what you're going to do, but you will be sat at your desk. And then, you know, the rest of the time, if I don't make it, I don't make it. If I'm not sat at my desk every day, I'm not sat at my desk every day. It's not, I'm my own boss, and my boss is pretty lenient because my boss knows that sometimes I will stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning working on a project, and other days I'll say, you know what, I streamed this afternoon, screw it, I'm going to go and watch TV for an hour, and then never come back to my desk. And that's how it goes. I will tell you, actually, the thing that I found most useful is organisation tips, because neurodivergent, is that the word? Organisation tips, man, they're a lifesaver. Clear storage, having things within reach, cutting out the middleman. What's her name? What's the girl who does the ADHD channel? How to ADHD, is it? I've picked up so many tips from her. Like, simple stuff, like instead of having a big pile of cords on the floor, because that's where all your chargers are, put a box there and chuck all the chargers in it. The box looks tidy, it doesn't have to look tidy inside. If you are out of sight, out of mind, don't put things out of sight that you're going to need. Clear storage. All my storage is clear. I've gradually got rid of everything. If you have a nemesis, my nemesis is cardboard boxes. Don't have them in the house. Katie Saw. Katie Saw is good too, yeah. I've learned a lot from How to ADHD about what ADHD is and how it affects you, and how to know if it's even a thing you have. And it wasn't until I started watching her that I was like, that's an ADHD thing? Okay, I didn't know that. Because especially at our age, we can tend to be a bit, do I really have ADHD though? Wouldn't somebody have noticed earlier if I had ADHD? The reality is no. Because in the 70s, they still had remedial teachers. I know, because my mum was one. That's right, kids. Back in the day, you weren't dyslexic, you were remedial. Anyway, and that was the good point where they changed it from something really bad. because remedial teachers were there to remedy the fact that you couldn't read. My mum worked as a remedial teacher for many years at my primary school. And there's a lot of kids that are able to do stuff that they never thought they were going to be able to do because of her, and how much patience she had with showing them how they could do it and how to get around the difficulties they had, and not just expecting them to all toe the line and fit into one shoebox. And you can't expect yourself to fit in a shoebox either. If the shoebox doesn't fit, neither will the shoe. You know, they say if the shoe fits, wear it. Well, if the shoebox doesn't fit, don't even bother with the shoes, because they're not going to fit either. I know. Okay, I'm liking these. These are cute. That's a nice colour. What's that? Purpley pink. It's an official colour, apparently. Purpley pink. Oh, it's the same colour as the ballpoint pen. I like it. Yeah, I wish there had been as much open communication as there is now about the difficulties people had. Because almost without exception, I think everybody who has issues like this, when they're being told, why don't you just start it? Just start it. Just get your book out your bag and get started. Why are you still sitting there? They're not the people who understand that you're not doing it. You can't start. It's not just as simple as pull your book out of your paid bag and get started. You need a run up. We've got to have some time. I'm not emotionally ready for that kind of commitment, okay? Plus, I always had frustration with that, because I was a fast worker. Once I got started, I would finish fast. It wasn't a case of, well, you've got this much homework to do, therefore you need to start right now, otherwise you won't be finished in time. It's like, how much homework do I have to do? Okay, it's going to take me about half an hour. So as long as I'm ready at least a half an hour before bed, I'm fine. And if I'm not ready a half an hour before bed, then I just got to go to school early in the morning and do it then. As long as it's not the first period, 9 a.m. class, we'll be fine. If it is a 9 a.m. class, we're in trouble. But if it's not a 9 a.m. class, doesn't matter. We can get it done. Being able to manage yourself in those respects is something I was very lucky to be able to do. I can't imagine what it would be like if you had to spend a long time doing homework. And then also had the issue that you just simply couldn't get started with it. I just used to shrug it off and go, it's only about half an hour, it's only going to take me a few minutes, and it's not that big of a deal. But trying to explain to anyone that you literally can't start, and no, you can't explain why, but it's not as simple as simply getting your books and pencils out of your bag and sitting at the dining room table, is really hard. Even now, it's really hard. And I love the fact that there's so much talk about, people who say, sometimes I get started on something and my brain just does this thing where it goes, how about we go and do this instead? And off I go. And I've got no control over it. I was watching Sketchbook tours in the background the other day, and there was a girl saying exactly that. My brain drives me crazy because I know I have to do this, and I know I have to work on stuff, and I know what I have to do. I've organised it all. I know what I'm going to start with. And then my brain will just go, no, how about we go and do this instead? How about we go and take the alarm clock apart? And I lose 4 hours to that. And I was so tempted to just go on there and go, honey, what you're describing is ADHD. Go and talk to somebody. I didn't, because we don't diagnose people. That's not my job. My job is not to diagnose people. It's not even my job to diagnose myself, really, but Ooh, that one doesn't go anywhere. Neither does that one. Huh. The things you notice when you're colouring in. I need to fix that. If it's not open storage, it's never seen the light of day again. None of my storage anymore is closed storage in any way, shape or form. I don't even use closed pencil cases anymore, because every 5 minutes I'm opening it to try and remind myself what's in it. The only type of closed storage I have is stuff like this, where it's totally contained. I know that this is my watercolour palette. I know that this is my... can't always remember the word, but I know that it's my gouache palette. I know that these tins, one of them has my little mini bits of Neocolours, and one of them has little mini pencils, and well, this one sounds like pencils. Yep, little mini pencils. Yep, Neocolours. I don't need to know which one's which, because I can just go like that and go, oh, yeah, that's pencils. This is my pencil case. This is my, or pencil case, couch bag, whatever you call it. Look, it has pockets. But more importantly, it has clear pockets. Because otherwise, I would put stuff in here and I would never know where it was. I would never know where it was. The only non-clear storage type of anything I have is my backpack, because that would be weird, having a clear backpack. That I do have a clear handbag, but having a clear backpack, that would just be weird. So I don't have a clear backpack. What I do have is a backpack that only has one pocket, and in that one pocket I put the stuff that will end up at the bottom of my bag if I don't put it in that pocket. My keys, my wallet, my phone. That's it. Oh, and a pen. One pen. Everything else goes in the main body. It will be in there somewhere. But those 4 things are always in my side pocket, so that I can get to them. Otherwise, they'll be at the bottom of the bag. But if I buy a bag that has like 80 pockets, I'm going to be forever going through pockets trying to find what I'm looking for, because I have no idea what pocket I put anything in. Out of sight, out of mind. You feel validated. Oh, that's good. We talk a lot about ADHD in class. Yeah, we do, because almost everybody, almost everybody in my class either has ADHD or is directly related to someone with ADHD. And it's funny, because there's a theory. I don't know where it comes from or anything, but I like how the girl whose name I can't remember from How to ADHD explains it. And she says, it's not that we're different. No, we are different. It's not that there's anything wrong with us. It's not like when you say somebody has a mental health issue, like there's anxiety. Anxiety is something that is a chemical response that you can't control. So in technical terms only, anxiety is when there's something wrong, in inverted commas. Depression, the same. There's something, in inverted commas, wrong, because your regulation of whatever it is that you're supposed to be regulating that causes the depression or the anxiety is not working right. That's something that can be quote unquote fixed with medication most of the time. ADHD can be adjusted. The whole dopamine thing and, you know, keeping your dopamine and serotonin in line can help, but it doesn't make it go away. And the way she describes it as, it's not that there's something wrong with you, it's just that your brain works differently. You're on another operating system. And sometimes that helps to think of it like that, is to think, no, it's not that I can't do this, it's just that I'm on Windows and Windows needs to update for 20 minutes before it can get started, and then it's going to be really slow and I'm not going to be able to do some of the things I want to do, and that's the way it's going to be today. I'm used to a Mac system. Macs, you switch them on, you're ready to go, boom, you're in. That is not today. Today, we're on Windows. We've got 20 minutes of updates, we might as well go and make a cup of coffee. But don't forget to come back to the computer, because we have actually switched the computer on and we need to do something. And I actually do find that helps, you know. If I'm on a day where we're not firing on all cylinders, if it's a no bones day, then we're running on Windows. So we're basically just going to be doing updates and virus checking and trying not to break anything. The days where Mac is fully up and operational and ready to go, that's the days we're going to take advantage of the fact that we can focus on things. I've really found it useful to think of it like that. It's just you're using a different computer. You're not using the computer you're used to, so things are going to take a little bit longer today. Plus, you're in a different office and there's all these little people who keep wandering in with Post-it notes going, do you know what this is? You have a version of cerebral palsy and everything got chalked up to that. Oh, if you've got one thing, that's it's like if you're fat. If you're fat, that's the cause of every single thing that is ever physically wrong with you. You got a bad knee, it's because you're fat. You got a bad neck, it's because you're fat. You can't breathe properly, it's because you're fat. Because, you know, thin people don't get sick. Anyway, don't get me started on that. Do not get me on that soapbox. We're already on one soapbox. I don't have enough bandwidth to do a second soapbox today. Let's stick to one. Sorry, I keep jiggling the desk. I don't mean to. I still haven't... You know how for the last 2 weeks I've been saying I really need to stick the stabilizer thing in that? Yeah, I still haven't done it. Oh, says somebody normal. What you should do is get a planner and write it down. Guess what? I did write it down. I wrote it down yesterday, and the day before, and the day before, and the day before, and every other day in between the last 2 times that I've mentioned it. And I still haven't done it. Your brain is like a dark fairground. Oh, like something out of a Stephen King novel. Cody comes from The Shining. Actually, the Shining is quite a good description for how my brain feels like sometimes. These are quite translucent, so I'm trying not to colour them in all the way to the base at the front so that they look translucent. Could even have them overlapping a little bit like that. Yeah, that'll do. Put some white in at the top. Not white enough. Not white enough. We need more white. There we go. More white. Hi, Madge. She keeps coming in and huffing at me. I think the weather is not to her taste. Like I can control the weather. Like the World of Warcraft fair. I haven't seen the Dark Moon fair. I think I left World of Warcraft many years before the Dark Moon fair came along. I make you laugh. Well, that's halfway there then. I mean, you know, laughing is half the issue, isn't it? You just got to learn to laugh at some things, because what else are you going to do, right? Let's give this some ground, because floating mushrooms look weird and trippy, so let's just give it some earth. There we go. That'll do. Doesn't have to be pretty. Should we add some greenery? That's not the light green I was looking for. There we go. That'll do. We're not looking to win any awards. I was having terrible trouble with organisation because I put all my supplies over there and I'm inherently lazy, which means I was not going to get up and go and get my supplies from over there, nor was I ever going to put them away over there once I did get them out. And what happened was everything ended up on my desk. So I moved my supplies to my desk. And now it takes me seconds to get to my supplies and seconds to put my supplies away. And I no longer have crap all over my desk. It's great. I eliminated the need to tidy up. No, I didn't. I still have to tidy up. I eliminated the need for putting things away to require me to actually get up and move anywhere. See? I'm going to put all my brush pens away. Boom! Done. Right, what should we do now? Hello, Baba Boo. Hello, Mr. Boo. Hello there. Do you want to come and say hello? Would Mr. Boo like to come and say hello? Mr. Boo, would you like to come and say hello? Huh? Are you going to bark at me if I pick you up? Ah! You are? There's Mr. Boo, look. There's Mr. Boo. There's Mr. Boo, look. You're famous on camera. Gentle, gentle. Don't bite, Mummy. Hey, let's not bite, Mummy. No, come on. Let go. Let go. Good boy. There we go. Good boy. It's a good boy. Yeah, we don't bite, Mummy. We don't bite, Mummy, do we? Hi. There's Mr. Boo. Look how famous you are. Yeah, you're a good boy. Hello. Good boy. Good boy. Gentle, gentle. Get down, gentle. You'll hurt yourself. Gentle, gentle, gentle. Good boy. There you go. Good boy. Hi, Madge. Do you want to come up and say hello as well? Come on then. Come on then. Come on then, you can make it. Here she is. Here she comes. Ready? Whoa! Oh! Oh! Oh, you're so heavy. Ow. Hi. Your feet are so heavy. Oh my god. Oh, she's clocked me in the ear. Ow. So there's the dogs. Oof, that hurt, Maddie. Right, before we move on to giraffes, I'm going to take a quick potty break. I will be right back. Oh, yeah, she really did a number on my ear. Seamus is £12. Maddie's 46. Approximately £10 in each foot. The 6 is her head. Giraffes. Giraffes are adorable, and yes, there's some dogs in here because I mean, that is obviously a giraffe. It's a giraffe. There's no question. And this one, that's obviously a golden giraffe. I don't make the rules, but they just make such derpy faces. Look at this guy. He's just so cute. Poking his head in. Let's do a big spread of giraffes. Specifically giraffe heads. Let's do giraffe heads. Let's drawing giraffe heads. So, yeah, link is below if you want to use my references again. Or you can carry on with mushrooms or whatever it is you want to draw. Whatever it is you want to do. Just chill. nothing on that page. Don't need to worry about that one. Oh, why will you not go in? Go in. Go in there. Stay there. There we go. This is all dry now. That's pencil. Okay, I might have to put it's not that I mind transfer. It's that I mind transfer. I can't help it. Transfer bothers me. Because I know it will happen. If it happens and I don't realise it's going to happen, or if it's bleed through and I don't realise it's going to happen, whatever, I'm good. I don't care. But if I know it's going to happen and it transfers, I get annoyed with myself for not stopping it transferring. If I didn't know it was going to happen, then what do I know? I couldn't have stopped it happening even if I knew. I know. Okay, I know. And now I have some more clips. Where do I have more clips? In my little pot of clips in my drawer of stuff. There we go. That'll do. No, it needs to be the other way around so I don't draw over it. There we go. Alright, let's draw some giraffes. Do I want to draw giraffes in pencil, or shall I draw giraffes in pen, or shall I just draw giraffes in whatever I feel like? Ooh, I know. This looks like it could be a good giraffe base colour. This is beige Posca, the big chunky 8mm one. And I stole this idea from, you know, the girl whose name I can never remember for no apparent reason. Lee. I get her mixed up with Holly. Lee Ellickson. There we go. Stole this idea from Lee Ellickson last year. Because I saw her do it and I went, oh, that's kind of cool. I'll try that. And then I really liked it. So I'm going to do it again. So I'm going to draw this guy in big chunky chisel tip. So what shape have we got going on here? We've got overall a kind of a, I'm going to do him a bit smaller than I normally do, I think. We've got kind of a that shape. And kind of that shape. Oops. Kind of that shape. And a big overhanging eyelid. And a nose coming down. And it's kind of that shape. And a big derpy lip shape. And a weird ear sticking out here. And then they've got, this is more of a mound than a hump. This eye comes out the same there as that one. And then they've got kind of a hump here. And kind of a hump here. I did not know they had three. I did not know they had three. So one in the middle and two on either side. I did not know this. Interesting. I wonder if they're related to rhinos. I doubt it, but you never know. And then we've got an ear. He's got small ears, all things considered. little bit bigger than that. There we go. Just colour that all in. So that's our base coat and shape. And the secret to this bit is to not worry about whether you're colouring inside the lines. Don't think about that. You're just putting down a base shape, and if the lines end up not following the base shape that you've put down, it doesn't matter, because this is just base colour. Lee explains it all much better. Go watch her videos. But it's very similar to doing the shading, except I'm doing an all over coat first, because he doesn't really have shading. He has darker fur in some areas. There we go. That'll do. So he's peeking in there, and his neck is kind of... Oh, this is more complicated than it looked earlier. Hang on. There's a bit of wibbliness under this chin here that we need to play with later. There we go. And then kind of has a throat that goes up like that. So he's going to be poking in his nose on that side. I'm going to download that picture so that I don't keep getting lost in Pinterest. It does happen. Let's see. We've got this derpy one here, who's really cute, with a tulip, which is just freaking adorable. So this one's going to go in here. And this one has a big snoot that's sort of that shape, and it's got a big lip, and it's got a skinny neck, and its big snoot goes up to its humpy bit in the middle that I didn't know it had. And then its eyes come out big, like a frog. And then we got a thing there. We've got a thing there. Those are not exactly the same size either. I don't know if that's... Yeah, he's face on, so they should be. They're sisters, not twins, apparently. And then we've got his ear, which is not as big as you'd think. And then we've got this ear over here. Again, not as big as you'd think. Whoops. There we go. Put that down there. Let's download that picture. And what are we going to do? Oh, I think we could put a little baby one in there. Maybe. I was going to do a big one standing up, but maybe I won't. Ooh, a close-up eye. I've got a close-up eye on there. That looks fun. he's sticking his head out and he's winking his face. He's doing a winky thing. Let's put him in the middle. It's not easy to draw across these pages, but we'll do it somehow. Okay. So his nose is kind of that shape. Like that. And his cheek comes down and around like that, and his neck's going off over that way, so let's have him slightly that way, like that. There we go. Go. That's his snoot, and his ear comes up and like that, but he's also got a bit of face that comes around here like that. So let's tuck him in behind that one. And his eyes come out and up. And then this side they come out and down. We've got his humpy bit in the middle about there, and he's got his what are these horns? Are they horns? Are they nubs? Are they, what are those things on his head? Are they ancestral antlers that he no longer grows because evolution is a thing? What are they things? What are the things on a giraffe's head, and what are they called? And why does he have 3 of them? I thought they only had 2. What are they, like camel humps or something? I don't know. I need to know these things. I'm trying not to go off onto Google to find out. Somebody find out what they're called and what they are and why. Okay, his ear is coming out here and down like that, and it's going up behind that, and it wouldn't stick out that far, but I'm going to make it stick out that far, otherwise it'll look really weird. I'm also going to make it come down a bit further so that it doesn't look strange. It's definitely going behind that one. And then his other ear, we'll have to make his other ear a little bit bigger as well. That's coming out here and down. Maybe a tiny bit bigger. There we go. So there's that one. He looks like his neck needs to be bigger. That'll do. I mean, it looks like a giraffe, right? So the reason I picked this one is because he's winking, so his 2 eyes are different, and his face is kind of scrunched up on one side. So that'll be fun. We've also got... Oops. No, oops, come back, come back, come back. There we go. We've got... the very first reference photo I found of giraffes is that one. And I don't know if that's like a photograph or CGI or what, but I like it. Giraffes are just goofy, I'm telling you. Got some giraffe silhouettes. Got a little baby giraffe. Ooh! Oh, he's missing half his head. It's not a good reference photo if half the head's missing. Oh, that's a nice shot of a giraffe from the back. That's interesting. Let's do him. So I'm doing slightly differently. Try to draw him within a... I'm not going to be able to fit him in a box, but I should be able to draw him as if he's separate to these. So let's see. Got an ear. I've got the back of his head, which is slightly humpy. His other ear, which the ears come out of the back of the head, not the side, and they are way bigger than you think they are because of it. That's weird. This is what I love about drawing animals. You find out so many unusual things about them that you had no idea were a thing. I've never studied a giraffe head before, and I'm learning all sorts of things about giraffes. I mean, I do know a few things about giraffes, like the fact that they have to eat and drink with their head up like that, which is why they don't graze grass, because they are capable of putting their head down like horses, but they can't swallow. So they eat from trees like that, so it goes straight down into their stomachs, because otherwise they would choke. Ossicones. They're called ossicones. Male and female have them. You need an oracle card for giraffes. Yeah, absolutely. Watch Wild Earth. They're used as weapons. Oh, that's interesting, because I just found out this morning how... Here's ADHD in action. I went from Pinterest to a video of... No, an audio clip of the noises that giraffes make. Apparently they purr while they're asleep. It sounds like humming. And I found out how giraffes fight. Are you ready for this? Those really long necks? Yeah, they literally go whum and smack the back of their head into the esophagus of the next giraffe. Literally, their heads go whum, and it's scary watching them. But, you know, you go for the most vulnerable thing. The most vulnerable thing is that esophagus going all the way down the neck, right? You take that out, it can't breathe, it can't eat, it can't drink. Of course that's how they'd fight. But they literally, they wind up. You know, like when kids are like winding up to throw something. That's what they do. They wind up with their necks like... It's so funny to watch. I mean, it's not funny, but it is funny. But it makes sense that those things are there, like space buns. Whoom! You get those two on either side of your esophagus. That's gotta hurt, right? That's awesome. Moose aren't where you're at, but they're both in North America. It's just thinking how vast the USA is and how different the animals are. Yeah. Squirrel thought, who would win in a fight, a moose or an alligator? Well, I mean, an alligator would go for the legs, right? So if you're talking about crippling, that is going to break a leg at the very least and rip out tendons and leave it with one less leg. However, alligators are hard, but they're not armoured, are they? And moose, they are pretty nasty with those antlers. They literally crash them down on things. So I would think in a fight to the death, my money wouldn't be on either of them. But to cripple, if the moose could get across the back of the alligator, it would break its spine easily. But if the alligator could move faster then it could break a leg or two very quickly. So either way, it's going to be a mess. I don't want to know. I don't want to hazard a guess at who would win. Moose are huge. I didn't realise how big moose were until I saw. Moose also stomp. Yes, they do. They rear up on and smack like horses do. And with all that weight on their head, my God, they must weigh a ton. I wasn't aware how big moose were until I saw there was a thing of the Canadian, I think it was in the Rockies, where they'd literally shoveled out this entire gorge of snow, and they were showing how tall the snow was. And they had these semis going through, and the snow was another 6 feet on top. So it's just a wall of snow. And the semis were going along. And one of the semis stopped because this moose was stood in the middle of the road. And the moose very calmly turned round and walked past the trucker, dipped its head down, looked in the window, went, "All right, mate," carried on. And I'm like, I know how big those semis are. That moose had to bend down to look in the window. Are you kidding me? That puts that moose minimum 10 feet to the shoulder. And then there was a whole other, like, the shoulder is only half the height. Once they stand up, you know, you've got the neck, the head, and then those antlers. Like, what? That's huge. Because those of us who've never seen an actual live moose, you know, people say moose and like, oh, they're massive. You hit one of those in your car, it's going to total it. And we're like, yeah, that happens with stags too. And then you look at a stag and it's like this big compared to a moose, which is like that big and that wide. Oof, no. I think this is a bit wonky, but I don't care. Okay, we've got the ossicones. Cones. They do look like upside down ice cream cones. Now I'm seeing a giraffe with ice cream cones upside down on his head. That might not be the way we want to go. Okay, so his neck bone sticks out really weird. And then his neck comes down here. And this bit goes really thin behind the ears. And then it's got this brush thing down the back, which I assume is like a donkey's mane by the look of it. It comes down the back there, and the neck gets very slightly wider as it comes down. I'm just going to do it kind of like that. Maybe do it a bit wider so the hair sits on top of the neck. And then the face comes out kind of in a pointy sort of shape with a, let's see, it's coming out of this bit with a curve, and then it's got another curve there. That's a bit too shallow there, like that. Okay. It's a bit scrunched. His head should have been a bit further that way. We might be able to fix that in a minute. His head should have been more... I think I drew his head right the first time. It should have been more there. Yeah. But that's okay. It doesn't matter that we've gone outside the lines. We'll just ignore it. That's the whole point. Okay. Let's draw this derpy little one. Oh, I'd better download that picture. Okay, let's draw this derpy little one with his... If I make this one coming front, I can draw his little flower. Or I can just have his flower coming out the other side. No, let's have it come in this side. Okay. So, his face is coming down and in like that. And up, and there's his mouth. He's got chin coming across here. He's got a weird little, almost like an Adam's apple there. You can see a bit of his mane. He's got hair everywhere. Let's see, his hump, sort of there. And his ossicones. Got kind of a inward thing, and then they've got hair on the top. And these have got kind of a circular thing, hair on the top, and then they kind of go up like that. They really do look like ice cream cones. This has a shape in the middle, almost like a koala's nose, and then kind of like two seashells on either side, and then his nose is kind of like a shape of a cat. That's darker there. I'm assuming that's his nostrils. He's got kind of weird lumpy things here as well. He's got a very odd face. You've got a very odd face. This comes down here, and then this comes up like that. And then on this side it's coming down and then over that bit there and around there. We've got top of his head, and then his eye is there. Nope, the eyelid is there. And then he's got really huge eyelashes, and his eyes dip in. And this ear is far too big. Should be more like that. He's got huge eyelashes on the bottom as well. And then on this side we've got a bit of a kind of a shape here, like that. And it goes out. And he's got a stripy eyelid on this side. Oh, he's got a stripy eyelid that side, I just didn't draw it. And then he's got crazy eyelashes that a drag queen would be proud of. He's got really big inset eyes like that, and then big eyelashes this side as well. Cute. And then he's got, I might as well just draw this in. He's got green coming here, like that. He's got green coming out this side, like that. And then we've got a big old tulip thing right about there. Okay. I feel like I should have done that in black. I feel like it would have been better in black. Let's do black pen. Black ballpoint over Posca's is... Ooh. Okay, I'm just going to draw these lines back in. Nice and sketchy. As if I've just... I'm not inking it, I'm just sketching it in. As if I've just the same as I just did with the pencil, okay? As if I was just doing it with the pencil now. Or I hadn't done it in pencil first. Where's his eyelashes on this side there? That shape there, okay? I'm perfectly happy to do this stuff in pen first because I find it makes your work looser. It also makes you think more about what you're going to do and how you're going to achieve it, as opposed to, well, no, it makes you more confident. It makes you more confident in what you're doing because you can't change it. So you kind of have to be confident about what you're doing. It's okay, this is where I think this line's going to go. But then, in addition, it makes you more confident about changing things, because what I find with a lot of beginners, and I speak from experience here because for those of you who don't know me, I used to teach art and computer science at college, and then I was made redundant, and I thought, you know what? Could do this online and be my own boss. So I started teaching online and I've been doing it ever since. See links down below for my Patreon. Insert ting star here. I know. This is what you get. You join my Patreon, you get more of this. Yeah. What was I saying? I'm not trying to ink it. I'm just trying to draw it in with pencil because, oh yeah, if you as a beginner start drawing everything in pen, instead of fussing with it and going, oh, but that's not right, that's not right. Every time you do something wrong, there's no wrong in sketching, okay? Sketching is for learning. If you're doing perfect sketches, you're not learning anything, okay? If you're making mistakes in your sketches, you're learning. As long as you're paying attention. Anyway. Yep, that was a squirrel with a post-it note. Where was I? If you work in pencil, because you're trying to do it well, because that's just how people are built, we start doing something new, we want to at least be able to try and do it well. Give it our best. You start erasing things, because of course you do, because you can. And if you start working in pen, you can't. But with a ballpoint pen, and I don't mean not what the Japanese call a ballpoint pen, which is actually a gel pen with a roller ball, but a proper Bic ballpoint, you know, one of these, or one of these, or one of these, a proper ballpoint pen. Doesn't have to be a Bic, but I always use Bics because Bics are reliable. If you work in ballpoint pen, you can actually get very, very fine lines, very, very sketchy lines, and you can always go in with another colour over the top. And if you're not 100% sure, say, about doing black lines straight away, I mean, I'm pretty confident with drawing in black pen. I've done it for most of my life. But if you're not 100% sure, then you start with a lighter colour. So you start with maybe red. And you sketch in what you think. And then you say, oh, okay, well, that's, you know, it should have another petal here, and this petal should be a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna firm that up a bit. Make that petal a little bit bigger. Maybe we can shade this bit, cover that line. You know, here's our petals. There we go. It's a tulip, right? Anything else we can fix when we colour it. You should really do sketches in ink. It terrifies you. Buy a sketchbook specifically for the purpose of drawing in ink. Only has to be cartridge paper. Doesn't have to be mixed media paper or anything expensive. In fact, if you're going to use a ballpoint pen, these cheap moleskins work great. Well, it depends where you are, whether they're cheap, I guess. But, I mean, A lot of people say moleskins are very expensive. I don't find them expensive. But then it's mostly what I draw in. So if you're in the UK, Sea Whites of Brighton are fantastic for cartridge drawing. Any kind of pen, felt tip pen, ballpoint pen, gel pen, fountain pen even. But you really can't go wrong with pen because, I mean, you can go wrong with pen, but that's the beauty of it. Because you can go wrong with it, you already know that whatever you draw, you're going to have to change things. You're probably going to make some mistakes. Things are going to have to be moved. But you're already oh, they're eyelids. Oh, how weird. How weird. Okay, so that big stripe at the top here is where their eyelashes come out of. But then they've got like a hidden eyelid with more eyelashes. And then oh, see, this is why it's fascinating to draw things up close. I didn't even notice that on this side. Yeah. And there's the bit with the fur coming out, and then he's got a little hidden eyelid, and then his eyelashes come out there. Wow. Okay, that's interesting. Anyway, yeah, so, you know, you just change it. Just change it. Don't do hard, heavy lines right from the get-go. Keep it nice and loose, nice and sketchy. I've lost the shape of his face here somewhere. What if I... Oh, here we go. This is what it does. It goes up like that towards his eye, and then it goes up and round. There we go. And then that's his bottom lip. That kind of comes to there. Here we go. I've got it. The other thing I find helps, and it can give you a very stylized look, which I really enjoy, is if you're not confident at drawing rounded shapes and getting them even, use lines first. So I'll do it with this bit of the neck. So he's got a piece of the neck that comes across, and then it goes up, and then it goes across, and then it goes up. And he's got another bit that comes down, and then up, and then across. Okay, so I've done that kind of straight lines. And then you just go in and round out those bits. And because you're drawing very loosely and very lightly, it just kind of masks it, and you don't have to worry about. Lots of journals in the USA are expensive because they're made overseas. Better paper but more money. But your printer paper is better quality. So, you know, grab some decent quality printer paper and make your own book, is the answer to that. Moleskins are made in China though, so I don't understand why they would be more expensive. Or do you still have sanctions against China? I don't know. I don't understand the intricacies of that kind of stuff. But anyway. Yeah, don't let not having the right paper or pen hold you back. You can draw on anything. The only thing I would say is if you're easily distracted by backgrounds of any kind, then don't get a dot grid or a line grid or anything like that, especially if you have tendencies towards perfectionism, because that is the absolute kiss of death. I can't work on grids or anything like that either, because I would automatically start trying to follow the grid. And then nothing would be right, because I would be trying to draw everything too square, if that makes sense. I can't have shading in the background of any kind. I even find it hard to draw on the... Oh my god, my words today! Hobonichis. Even that very light orange, it's great for writing, and it's great for, like, I can do diagrams and things, but I can't draw on it. So, yeah, keep your sketches very loose and light and scribbly, and just refine them until they're not as loose and light and scribbly. But, I mean, are these perfectly formed giraffes? No. They're all wonky. Why are they all wonky? Because I'm drawing flat instead of drawing like that. Does it matter? No, because this is my cheap moleskin sketchbook. I'm not trying to produce works of art in it. I'm just drawing wonky giraffes. Oh, I haven't finished this guy's ear. So his ear's coming up like that, and then it comes back down and in. It goes up like that and down. It's very rounded, it's not pointed. Up and in and around. It's got a big shaded area in there. It's got a big shaded area there, and it's got a long, thin, narrow shaded area there. And Mr. Boo's put his head on my knee. Hello, Boo Boo. Hi there. You come to give Mama some love? Hi. You want me to give you some love? Hi, sweetie. You have to have background lines or you find perfectionism kicks in with the blanks. I can see how that would make sense. I find them distracting. But again, that's knowing what kind of paper works for you and what doesn't. Do sketches in ink, yes. Especially if you have a favourite fountain pen. If you're a fountain pen user, just find your favourite fountain pen and start drawing with it. Maybe not the one that you write with all the time, because you'll have used the nib to the point, you know. But one that you really enjoy holding, one that's easy to draw with, which is not always the one that's easy to write with. And just start, you know, just draw things. It doesn't have to be perfect. I know that's, it sounds so cliche, but it really doesn't. Nothing has to be perfect. In fact, the less perfect it is, often the better it looks, because it's more stylized. If you wanted a perfect picture, take a photo. If you want to capture the essence of a derpy giraffe with a tulip in its mouth, grab a pen and just start sketching and see if you can capture that derpiness instead of, oh, well, this isn't the same size as this, so I have to change this, you know. Start with big shapes and work into smaller shapes. You do have a favourite fountain pen. Excellent. Try this method. I mean, don't use a fountain pen with Poscas. You'll kill your fountain pen. But if you have something like a favourite colour of brush pen or something like that, a very pale one that you can map in shapes, let it dry, and then go in with your fountain pen. Even for like houses and stuff, you can get the proportions of a house and then go in and put the details in. It saves you having to do the outline of the house and feel like you're drawing it. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's just easier. It's a really easy way of capturing a shape. Especially if you're drawing from if you're drawing at a zoo or something. You know, animals don't sit still like they do in pictures. I mean, sloths do. I like drawing sloths because they sit still for hours. But for the most part, they're not just going to sit there and let you draw them, okay? So, oh, now this guy's got a funny shaped nose. He has a funny shaped nose that goes round like that. Yeah, block in the shape and then see where that takes you. Is that coming all the way out there, or is it coming out there? Let me see. His jaw's coming that way and then here. This, I don't know why, but this particular giraffe, do you know how some animals just remind you of a particular person? Yes, like a shadow, like a silhouette. Draw the silhouette, but don't be perfect about it, just get the shape down. Because you can always go, oh, this bit's a bit too tall, or this bit should be over here a bit, and change it, you know. And you can, if you use a pale colour, you can always go back in with other colours over the top. Or, for instance, if you use like something like a light colour brush pen. I say brush pen because it dries faster, but you could always use watercolour as well if you're more patient than I am. And then go over it with your pen. You can either shade with your pen, or you can go with colour pencil over the top and do mixed media and just have fun with it. And then you can start using all sorts of different colours of pencil instead of trying to get it realistic colours. I mean, everything in life doesn't have a black outline, does it? And yet we almost all draw with things with a black outline. Okay, what's that, and why is it there? Is it just a weird blip, or does his nose actually come out that way? I think his nose actually does come out that way, and I just kind of did a weird blip on that side. Oh, that's his other lip. There we go. So that's his nose, but that's his bottom lip. There we go. He's got nostrils there, nice and dark. He's got big rounded bits around his nostrils. Going up to a big hump up here. Oh, it's like a ridge down his face. Okay. Okay. It's like a Klingon head. It's like that. And he's got space buns at the back. And he's like a Klingon head. I got to show you this though. I don't know why. This giraffe reminds me, as I'm drawing him, of... I'm going to forget his name now. David, it's somebody, is it? David. Oh. He's in... You know, that bloke with the hair that's in that thing. What's his name? Ginger guy. Sunglasses, suit. Whips his sunglasses off and makes a witty comment. Do you know who I mean? Oh, red-headed guy. It looks like there's been a murder. That guy. That's what this giraffe reminds me of, and I don't know why. What is his name? Come on, there's at least 3 British people here. He is a bit James Bondish, but he's also very smarmy and smug. Miami. CSI Miami. Is it Miami or NCIS Miami? It's one of them. He's a crime scene guy. Ginger hair. Sunglasses. He either takes his sunglasses off and says a witty comment, or he puts them on and says something witty. And that's pretty much it. And he wanders around in a blue suit all the time. I think it's CSI Miami. The guy who was his sidekick in it for a long time is that really dishy Latino type guy who's also in not NCIS, Criminal Minds. In the later series, he's the one with the Belgian Malinois. Come on, somebody knows who I'm talking about. You're in the US. It's an American program. His sidekick is that really gorgeous... I don't know if he's... I actually don't know what... He's dark-skinned. He may be Arab. He may be Latino. Honestly, I don't know. He's not black. But he's dark-skinned. Dark hair, dark skin. And he's also in Criminal Minds in the later series when David Caruso! Thank you. I was there. I said it was David, didn't I? Does this giraffe not remind you of David Caruso? I don't know why, but it does. This giraffe reminds me of David Caruso. I don't know why, but it's there. It's just, there's something about this shape of his face, and then the winky eye, that he just, it's this bit here reminds me of that shape of his face there, and then the winky eye, it's just that smug kind of that he's got going. I'm not alone, am I? It does look like him. You got a minute and a half lag. Ooh, that's not good. I don't know where that's coming from. Hey, boo-boo. Hi. It does look like David Caruso. In fact, I'm going to put this giraffe looks like David Caruso. Because seriously, I don't even know why or how or what is up with my brain, but that's who he reminds me of. See, if there were more British people in the chat, we would have got there a lot faster. Because British people have conversations like this, and they literally are, especially Sunday afternoon. Oh, is that woman who's in that thing? What woman? You know, her who's in that. She's married to, what's it? That guy. Oh, you mean so-and-so? Who's in that thing on BBC? No, not him, the other one. Oh, right, okay. And, like, you just know it's the right person. You just know who they're talking about. That's how it works here. It's the red hair. It could be the red hair. It could be that ginger. It could be that ginger on his snout that's making me think of him, because it's the same red. It could just be that. But also there's something about this shape. He has that very defined kind of, almost like a chimpanzee, but not as, I mean, chimpanzees are big thing, but he's got that very defined upper lip area where it's very rounded and very protruding. And I think that's what it is. It's that's making me think of him. But it also could be the colour. No, don't know. I like him. He's a good actor. He's funny. I prefer the other guy who's in Criminal Minds now, except Criminal Minds is finished. I haven't watched the later episodes of Criminal Minds. I need to get into that. I lost interest in Criminal Minds when all the Mexican stuff happened with Reed. I didn't like that. They did Reed dirty there. That didn't need to happen, and I didn't like it. And it went on too long. Once it did happen, it went on way too long, like a series and a half too long. It could have been 3 episodes, and it went on for forever, and I lost interest. But then that other bloke joined, who I don't know who he is, and I can't remember his name, and you know, but he's his sidekick, David Caruso's sidekick in the early episodes. The one with the really beautiful sister who was, I think she was killed. Was she killed by the cartel? Or she disappeared or something? And she was absolutely stunningly beautiful. Him. He's in the later episodes of Criminal Minds when it went back to being normal Criminal Minds without the far-fetched storylines. it's his eyes because he squints. Yeah, he does. He always has that kind of slightly squinted eye look to him. And when he takes his glasses off and he becomes Mr. Magoo because he can't see in the sun. Damn it. Adam Rodriguez. That's him. The guy with the dog. Eric Delco, he was in CSI Miami. And he plays... Yeah, the one with the dog. He's got a Belgian Malinois that he goes running with every day. And Garcia keeps buying it cute outfits. The guy that joined, that had a dog after What's-His-Face left. That's right. That's him. I didn't look his name up then. Alvarez. He was, because he came from the Mexico group. He was doing, he was in that elite group in Afghanistan in the army. And then he went to drug cartels, working on drug squad in cartels in Mexico. And Alvarez was his name. He spoke Spanish. Luke Alvarez. There we go. Task Force Agent Luke Alvarez. Adam Michael Rodriguez. He's American, but he's obviously... He's not Caucasian. There we go. Let's see. With a name like Rodriguez, I would assume he's like South American-ish, like Mexico, Brazil, maybe. What else is around there? Puerto Rico, Cuba. One of those Latin-speaking Southern American area types. But he's American. There was a short Criminal Minds spin-off as well. Oh, was there? Ooh. I just found out I've been watching Scorpions, which is actually really good. It's like Numbers, but not just about numbers. In fact, it's like Numbers and Lie to Me and MacGyver all rolled into one. It's really good. And Hackers all rolled into one. But it's a spin-off of NCIS. Hetty was in it. Hetty, the lady with the big round glasses and the page boy haircut from the Los Angeles CSI line. CSI. Was it CSI or Criminal Minds? I don't know. It was Los Angeles anyway. And I think Alvarez might have been in that as well. Reed Garcia and Alvarez. I've not seen that spin-off. I need to see that because that's my 3 favourite characters. Well, I also like Emily Prentice. I think she's awesome. But Reed Garcia and Alvarez are my dream team. I need to know what that... There's probably only like 4 episodes of it, but I need to know what it's called because I need to watch that. Brain Squirrels. Born in New York. Oh, his father is Puerto Rican, half Puerto Rican, half Cuban, and his mother is Puerto Rican. So I was right. South American. That's Latino, isn't it? Puerto Rico. That's like Puerto Rico, Cuba, Brazil is Portuguese speaking areas and Spanish speaking, I think. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% on that. At least I didn't do the usual thing of that so many people do and go, well, he speaks Spanish, so he must be Mexican. There's more than one South American country that speaks Mexican. Didn't go on for long, only one season. Yeah, most of them do. They're only in it for one season and then you never see them again. But, 12 episodes or 24 episodes of that dream team, I'm good. I need it. Okay, this eye is really weird because there's no shape to the eye. There's just the eyelashes. So I'm going to colour in the eyelashes so that I know that. And then I'm going to colour in the eyelashes on this side so I remember that that's different. What time are we on? Ooh, 7:30. Okay. Maybe I should talk less. Excuse me. Talk less, sketch more, maybe? I don't know. It's a novel idea. Okay, let's just put this guy in. Which one is this? This is the one that's turned to the back, like that. Here we go. This one, I've scrunched him up too much. His neck should be, like, down here somewhere. But it's okay. We'll just turn his head a bit more than it is. So we've got his ears here and coming around there. And coming down into that bit there. And we've got his ice cream cones on his head. They were a bit bigger than I actually made them. Oh yeah, his ear comes all the way down here at the back. So you think, like with the dog, that this is the bit of the ear, right? But no. After that bit, there's this whole bit at the back here as well. Like way back here. Very strange. The ears come out the back of the head, not the side of the head. Well, yeah. Strange. This is a bit off here. I'm going to remold that, and this should be coming down like that more. And then his brush is coming down there and across that, like that. And I've done that too high. That should have been down here somewhere. Forgot I moved the neck. This goes up here. And we've got a piece there and a piece there and a big overhanging lip. And big cheekbone. Big hollow in here. Like a horse. Okay. Big hollow. Coming down over the eyes and that second eyelid. Big eyelashes, nose. It's not perfect, but it'll do. A big jawline in there. Fascinating. Okay. Let's add some detail, shall we? Let's do... I'm going to use dark brown. Or shall I use medium brown? Let's use medium brown because the medium brown is darker than I think it is. This brown is darker than it looks, but it will be perfect for this. So this thing comes down here like this. Like that. Ooh, weird reaction on the paint. How strange. Okay. Dark eyes, eyelashes, round the eye, in the mouth, top of the nose. All their noses are different. I wonder if all their markings are different. I wonder if they're like zebras and all their markings are completely different. This is dark with tufty bits. I wonder why they're ossicones. Not what we called them. I wonder why they have hair on them. I'm going to have to write that down. Where should we put it? Let's put it over here. Ossicones for fighting. Okay. Got some glare on my screen. That's weird. This dark brown is going black on the cream Posca. Very strange. You thought there was another one with Reed Garcia and Alvarez in it, but you must have dreamt it. So you lied to me then. Suspect Behaviour I've seen. I've seen that one. I've also seen the crossovers with Criminal Minds and NCIS. But there isn't one with my dream team. Pfft, well, just gone off you. I'm glad I didn't use the dark brown because this is going black, which is really weird. Never seen that happen before. Somebody's cooking something and it smells amazing. Whatever they're cooking, it's got a lot of garlic in it, so it's probably the guy upstairs because he puts garlic in everything. Okay. And then, oh, this guy over here, he's got little dark bits on his antlers there. They're not antlers, but you know what I mean. He's got this funny little dark patch in his nose, and I don't know why, what it looks like that. He's got this dark bit here, and this dark bit here. And he's got, I think that's his nostrils there, but I'm not sure. He's got crazy eyelashes that a drag queen would be proud of. Look at those eyelashes. Look at those eyelashes. Oh, he's so cute. And he's got a big clear bit around his eye there as well. To make sure I leave that. Got a big clear bit on this eye as well. Huge eyelashes this side too. And on the bottom. And on the bottom there. Dark bits there. Got some dark chin hairs. Got some dark mane. This bit's kind of dark here. A big old dark section in his ear. And a big old dark section in this ear. And this side as well. Okay. Oh, and his hump's dark there. And here. And then this guy has dark bits up here and on here. They do seem to all have different markings. I'm not an expert on giraffes, but they do appear to be somewhat like zebras in that all of their markings are different. Huge eyelashes again. Huge lid lashes there with that weird underlid that this giraffe has, but the others don't seem to have, which is very peculiar. I wonder if it's just him. Maybe it's just him with the... I don't know. See, now I need to learn all about giraffe anatomy, even though probably never going to draw a giraffe again. Ecoline doesn't like to work with Poscas. Well, it's working. It's just I'm not getting the colour I expected I was going to get. It's working fine. It's drying. It's, it's going over them. It's probably, the Poscas they're matte, but they're also waterproof. So I would assume that this moves with water still. Let's give it a bit of a try. It doesn't normally work on this paper. So let's see if we blend this bit out a bit. Yep. Blends out fine. In fact, it goes back to being brown once it's wet. I wonder if it'll dry black again. That's very interesting. It's not that it doesn't work, it's that it works differently to the way you would expect them to work normally. But honestly, the more I find out about these pens, the more I like them. I think I need to get some better, lighter colours. I've got the really bright set, I've got the Halloween set, and I've got a set of 5 pastels. And the pastels are the ones that I use most. I know, shocking. You'd think it would be the Halloween set, but no. I use the Halloween set a lot at Halloween, but I don't generally use it for this kind of stuff. Big and bold, get in there with the colours. So I'm glad I used the medium brown, because that did not come out the brown that I was expecting it to. So let's see what the light brown does. Let's use this light brown for this guy's mane, which is here. And see what happens with this. I don't even know if it's going to show up. It might go the same colour as the Posca, or it might go grey, or I don't know what it's going to do. Let's find out. A few bottles of Ecoline, but not the brush pens. Yeah, the bottles Ecolines is what you use to fill these up with. They unscrew here. I think they unscrew the wrong way, if I remember correctly, but eventually they unscrew and you fill them up. And then you make sure they're lying down, and you never put them nib down because they leak like crazy. Okay, that's disappeared. Interesting. Very interesting. So the light one has gone completely. It's disappeared from the face of the planet. Interesting. Maybe we need a different colour. Let's try a different colour. Let's do a swatch down here. And try a dark colour or a mid-tone colour in something else and see if that works. In the meantime, I really like the way this dark eye looks, so I think I'm going to go into these with the darker brown. Let's see if I can get it to stay brown. Give it a try, see what happens. Again, I'm still keeping it really loose. I don't want to tighten up. So I'm still not trying to do super pristine shapes or anything. I mean, if I was trying to do pristine shapes, a big ass brush pen is not the way to go, you know. But I can't work out where his nostrils are. His nostrils are there. He's got big eyelashes there. And there, and there, and his eyes in there. So this is also going black, but it also looks darker than the other one. So the other one went kind of a dark grey. This one's going more very dark grey. And that's okay. Okay. Let's see what other colours we can get. Let's try a dark red and an orange. See if either of those work to give us... I want a kind of a gingery colour for the spots. But I don't know which one's going to work, if either. Or are they just going to come out orange and red? Because that might happen as well. You like the Ecolines? Yeah, I like them as brush pens. I don't generally water thing them, like dilute them or anything. I'm not a huge fan of wet to dry to wet media. Like putting these on watercolour paper and then using a brush to wet them. I can do that with watercolours. I don't really see the point. It's just an extra step to me. But using these over Poscas instead of watercolours, which will take forever to dry, that makes sense. Okay, I like this orange. Is going kind of a cool colour. So is the red. Is that the lighter orange? Have I got another? I've got another orange somewhere. Is this the lighter one? Or the darker one? Sienna. Oh, that's more of a gingery colour. Let's try that one. And then I've got another red, which is a light red. The red's going brownish. It's going kind of a purpley colour. But it takes a while before it actually changes properly. I'm liking these two. I'm really liking these two, which is burnt sienna and orange. Deep orange and burnt sienna. That burnt sienna is a really good colour. That's going purple. And that seems to be going kind of pinkish. But I still might be able to use it because his mane actually is that kind of colour. Let's put these back. Let's see. So the gingery bits. Let's do the gingery bits in the orange. Let's do... this guy's very gingery. Might even put some red on him as well. Give him his David Caruso orange. There we go. This is now officially David Caruso orange. He's got some orange up here as well on these bits. Some of his patches on his face are orange as well. So let's give him some patches of orangey bits here. You're never going to get the shapes right, so just pick kind of roughly the shape that you think it's going to end up as. And just get in there with it. Let's see if we can make his mane this orange colour. Might add some red to it. Okay. Now it kind of looks like a hyena, which is very weird because hyenas are not that colour. This guy just has some colour on his snoot here. Possibly because he's young. He's definitely a baby. He doesn't actually have that much orange. A little bit up here. Okay, David Caruso here is all about the ginger. This guy, he's all about the ginger. A white patch that side, but he's all ginger this side. That's unusual. Oh, actually, that does give white patches, so I might be able to go back in and do that in a minute. All of this bit is kind of a browny orange colour. With darker bits on it, so I have to go back in and do that in a minute. This comes down like that. And kind of orangey. Speckling and sections here. He literally got speckles. Speckles and freckles. You know, it's a redhead thing. If you're red, you've got freckles. That's how the world works. Actually, I might do all his markings in the orange and then come back in with some brown pencil afterwards to darken them up a bit where they need to be darkened up. I think that will be an interesting variation. He's got dots there. He's got a patch on his eyelid. Got white ears. How strange. Okay. Oh, let's do his big spots as well. Why not? These are strange shapes. They're not quite oblongs. They're kind of like the shapes of cow markings, actually. That's what they remind me of. I've done something weird to his neck here, but it doesn't matter. There we go. And then this guy has got the orange on his mane there, so I'll go over that bit there. Make it a darker orange. He's got the David Caruso lip and a chin, so David Caruso with a goatee. Oh. See, if you hadn't come to today's live stream, you would not know that David Caruso looks like a giraffe. Or there's a giraffe that looks like David Caruso. Let's do some... He's got some orange markings at the top, and then they go kind of darker as it goes down. I'm not sure if that's the shading of the light. I'm going to give him some lighter ones up here. And they're smaller up here as well. He's got much smaller ones on his face than the others. And they're funny shapes. They're not all the same they're not splotches the same shape as the others. You know what I mean. and he's got a white head. This part of his head is white, and this one is orange, and this one is brown, and this one is different on one side to the other. And he's got freckles on his head. He's got freckles on his things up here. He's got freckles all over here. Maybe they're like pumas, and they actually have like pumas have jaguar markings, but you can't see them until they're in a certain light. They just look black, but they actually have jaguar markings in their fur. Maybe that's what it is. Well, they're definitely giraffes, right? This guy's awesome. I love him. And this guy. These two are both really awesome, and this one is just cute. Well, he will be when I'm finished with him. I haven't got the rest of the colours in yet. Let's do this while I remember. And then I've got a white one here. I'm just going to... You can't use anything to cover over ballpoint pen except paper. Even Tipp-Ex doesn't work. Whiteout. Well, that's not true. The strip whiteouts that they have these days, the rollerball ones, those work. But then you can't redraw over them because it's shiny. So you can't put anything over the top. But because ballpoint pens are oil-based, they will come to the surface no matter what you put over them. So at the moment, that looks like it's covering mostly. It's like Tipp-Ex, it will mostly cover. But you come back to it in like 6 weeks and it'll have risen to the surface. We need some grey. Hi, Boo-Boo. Hello. Oh, it's 8 o'clock. He's waiting for his dinner. Do you want your dinner, my bub? You want your dinner? We should stop anyway, shouldn't we? Yeah, we should. So I'm not quite going to get this one finished today. But considering I drew 4 giraffes and I've never drawn giraffes before, that's not bad. I will probably continue with a bit of coloured pencil. Actually, I'm gonna put this tulip in with some Posca because it's not going to stand out otherwise. It's supposed to have some white on it, and that's okay. I'll just go back in with a white Posca once it's dried, or a white pencil. But for now, this flower is not going to stand out unless I use something bold. So it would have if it wasn't in front of him, but because it's in front of him and he's like orange, it's got to be punchy. Add a bit more green. Let's add a lighter green to this as well. Make it a little bit more standy outy. It's a technical term, standy outy. So these giraffes are unfinished. I don't know if I'm going to finish them or maybe keep them for next week. I might keep them for next week. I might finish them next week. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll finish them next week. So I'll just write on here. What's the date? 29/6/22 live stream to next week. And if I forget, what's next week? The next week is Monday's the 4th, I think, is it? Friday's the 1st. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6th of July. So if I forget and I come on with big plans to do something else, remind me that for warm-up I've got some drafts to finish. yeah. And then we can finish them on stream. And then if any of you are watching the replay, have watched the replay, or have been drawing along but aren't quite finished because you don't work as fast and loose as I do, and believe me, it's taken me a lot of practice to get to the point where I work this fast and loose. It's hard. Especially when you're detail oriented, you basically have to just not care. It's very difficult to do. But once you get the hang of it, I think it's one of the few ways of working where having the right tools is an asset. Sometimes if you've got the right tools, it can feel a little bit like you're expected to know how to use them. But for this, the bigger and chunkier the things you're using and the larger the page you're working on, and the cheaper the paper, that's the key thing. The cheap paper. I love these books. The cheap paper, the big pens, and treating it as warm-ups, not as drawing. It's just not. I don't even call them sketches. Really, they are warm-ups sketches rather than actual sketches, drawings, finished things. But that doesn't mean they have to look rubbish. Almost swore. I mean, this one is. I used highlighter pen on that one. I drew that one with highlighter pen, and I went in with ballpoint pen over the top. This is acrylic paint marker, not the cheaper hoo-hoo ones, not Posca's. That I prefer these. Like by Bun's off-camera crinkle. Yeah, it is like by Bun. She's the person who made me realise that these soft cover notebooks were actually the same paper as the cahiers I used to use. Because I used to use the cahiers, but I got so infuriated with them because the cahiers are only like 60 pages or something. And I finished them in like 6 weeks. It was really annoying. Whereas these are a lot of pages. There's a lot of paper in these. These are hefty books. Because they're the same thickness as an average sketchbook, but the paper itself is half the thickness. I don't think I've still got my thing in here that tells you how many pages it is, but it's a lot of pages. It's a lot of pages. And then my journal at the moment, which I'm doing similar type work in, it's a little bit smaller, but it's got lots more pages in it because it's an expanded, so it's 400 pages. So this is twice the thickness. More than twice the thickness. I think this is like 190 something pages. Nearly 200 pages. And this is 400 pages. But this is the A5 Slim. And this is the B5. 8x10. I love this size for doing big loose work. But I like to do like... I do... Not... heavily detailed drawings, but more, I don't know. I was just watching Emily D. Baker the other day, watching one of her streams, and I drew this. You know, it's just whatever I'm doing at the time. But some of them, I mean, this was one that I just did really quickly, like I've just done with the giraffes. But I used Ecoline brush pens, and then I went in for the shadow areas and the dark fur, and then I went in with fine liners. Tri-plus fine liners. I didn't even draw them first. I just went in and did the shadows, which is where I got this idea of doing it in this one as warm-ups. But I do all sorts of things in this one. I did Johnny. I did a corgi. Did a really, really bad rendition of Princess Anne. See, not everything works out. Not everything works out. I mean, it's obviously Princess Anne, but man, she's ugly. Because I overworked this part of the face because I used the wrong colour to begin with. That's the problem there. Without that bit, it actually does look like her, but I used the wrong colour in the face, and then I tried to salvage it, and it just kept getting worse. But, you know, I mean, that doesn't look like the Queen, but it's recognisable as the Queen, so I'm happy. Wolf skulls. Again, this was like 10 minutes. And 2 minutes of that was colouring in the background. The otters. This is just like a daily sketching journal. It's not quite draw your day. It's not quite an illustrated journal. Sometimes it is. I mean, that particular day, you know, I was sitting catching up on Emily's streams, so that's what I did. Today I just started this sketch is what's there in front of me, because I just didn't know what else to do today, so I just started drawing what was on my desk. Random plant off Pinterest. Stuff that was in front of me. This was just using up leftover paint. Some strawberries. I did the spots in gold glitter gel pen, and I liked it so much I transferred part of the picture into my big sketchbook onto decent paper so I could do it again. And then I forgot to put the spots in, and I couldn't work out why it didn't look right, and now I know because I haven't put the spots in, so I've got to go in and put the spots in. This is my proper sketchbook. This is a mixed media book. It's the Ohuhu mixed media book, and it's got all sorts of... Oh, I just did these the other day. Again, that's just ballpoint pen and eco-lines. I'm really into ballpoint pen and eco-line with a little bit of brush paper. Words. A little bit of colour pencil over the top. That's what I'm into at the moment. This was originally ballpoint pen, and then I just literally went in yesterday. I decided the ballpoint pen looked a bit rough, and I literally just went in with a red pencil to just even out some of the colours. This is Ohuhu markers and Copics. Ohuhu markers and Copics. Gouache and colour pencil. Colour pencil. I've got some pages taken out because I've put them on... I put them in my Patreon sketchbook because I was working on the wrong one. I don't use this one on camera because it's really, really thick. Like, it's twice the thickness of the moleskin one. So it's really uncomfortable to draw on if you're working on, especially on this side of the page. It's actually much better to just hold it up like this and draw on it, which you can't do if you do it on camera. So this is more like a personal sketchbook that I use. I don't film this one particularly. I have filmed in it, but I don't anymore because it's just too cumbersome. Red panda sniffing a rose. Originally the picture was a corgi, I think, little ginger dog like that, corgi shih tzu type little thing sniffing a rose, and I like the rose and I like the pose. I like the rose and I like the pose. Ha! But I didn't want to draw corgi because I'd already drawn a corgi like 2 days ago, so I changed it for a red panda. This is just a rose from the garden. Draw upside down for the other side. What does that mean? A bride. Bride? Ooh, did I miss loads of pages? The burr. Random potted plant. I was just playing with my markers. Johnny, corgi, the royals, wolf skulls, otters, bugs, because bugs are awesome, plant from Pinterest, stuff from my desk. Oh, the Bride of Frankenstein! Ah, gotcha. Sorry. It's the lag. It's the lag. Yeah, the Bride of Frankenstein. Yeah. I was watching the film and I thought, yeah, I'm going to draw her. I like her. I like the way her skin came out. That was exactly the colour I needed. That's just this is just some leftover paint I had. when I had some more leftover paint, I went back in and did this. When I've got some more leftover paint, I'll go and do something on the other page. It's just using up paint because I don't like leaving it on the palette, because that's a waste. I still haven't coloured in that iris. My dad sent me a load of photos from his garden, and he has hundreds of irises. Hundreds of them, all in different colours. Scoop! You just knocked the bin over, dude. He wants his dinner. He's like, Mum, stop talking. The man who has convinced the world he had scissors for fingers. Haven't drawn on the back yet. This was, I was watching a live stream from Lost Beyond Pluto, and they have these really cool, Zach is his name, not Jake. I knew it was something like that. I knew it had a K name in it. Zach and Pluto have really cool teacups that were very Alice in Wonderland-ish. So I sketched them and then I coloured them in last week on stream. Still haven't finished that one. This is Dante by Bun's dog. Because if somebody posts a picture of a pug in sunglasses, what else are you going to do but draw it? Right? And then Emily, and then this is just what I have on my desk. And yeah, it's not really a draw your life illustration journal thing, but it is. But it isn't. But it kind of is. I just draw whatever. And I try to do something in it every day. Sometimes that means I draw something and then I move on to the next thing. Or sometimes I go back and I'll colour it in, like last week. That's what I did with these. But it's my Scream Into the Void book. Which is what my journal has become. It's a scream into the void. Some days I write in it, some days I don't. Sometimes I colour, sometimes I do other things. But I am trying not to stick stuff in it. Because look at the size of this thing. It's already 400 pages. I don't want to stick stuff in it. So if I'm going to stick stuff in things, I tend to do it in this one, because this one is not as many pages. It doesn't matter if it gets chunky. I don't think I've changed anything on this. Oh, I quite often do this. Like, this was all colour pencil originally. I drew it in I like these Faber-Castell pencils because they're not too waxy. And originally they were all in red pencil, and I went back in with ballpoint pen because I just wanted to do some ballpoint pen warm-up, and I just went over it with ballpoint pen. And I might go back in and colour it. You never know. I never know what I'm going to do. Opal Art Challenge stuff, random scribbles, Greek urns, no idea why I drew those. And then I had art block. And then I got some notes, and then I drew a piece of pizza that I've never finished. Swallowtail, spice bush swallowtails, I think. Couple of foxes, I drew that one last night. And then we're on to mushrooms and giraffes. Oh, and this one, these are the deer I did last week. I love my moleskins. I'm really happy in this size, and especially with the amount of pages in this. I got really frustrated with the cahiers because I used to fill them up in like a few weeks. So I'm much happier in these. And this red is just such a happy colour. I love this red. Let's finish the... no, I'll leave that in there for now till we're past those pages. Leave that on that side. And that on that side. Yeah, we'll finish these drafts next week. Because we've been streaming for 3 hours already. I mean, I like streaming. I could stream all day happily. But if I stream all day, I won't be out of bed tomorrow. So maybe we won't. Maybe we'll stick with 2 or 3 hours. Plus, who's going to watch after... I mean, Replay Crew, if you're still here. Well, I can't... They're not really Replay Crew because that's Emily's thing. Rewatch... No, I can't say that. I was going to say rewatch squad, but my mouth doesn't work in that way. Zombie Crew. There we go. Because you're not live. I thought it was funny. Zombie Crew. Next week we'll finish the giraffes. And maybe do something in the background. Maybe even draw another giraffe up here. I don't know. I might draw some more giraffes on the page. I kind of wanted to do a full-size giraffe. So maybe I'll do like a little mini full-size giraffe to work out the proportions over here. Because I think it would fit into like that much space, which is weird. There you go. Thanks for joining me, guys. If you're interested in more of this craziness, come and join me on my Patreon. Links down below. If you want to rewatch any of this craziness, you can check the links down below after we finish, because I will put in the timestamps for the zombie crew. The ones who aren't live. Get it? I need to do a zombie crew sticker now, don't I? Design one at least. Anything else? Oh, I've got a summer class going. Mini summer class thing. If you want to join in on that, that is over on my website. Again, links are down below. We're making a painting. But I'm such a slow painter. It's no longer a month-long class, it's now a 2-month-long class. Everybody's working on their own projects and it's fun, and we get to spend 2 hours a week just doing our own thing because we want to. Because we can. Tidy desk. Love it when I tidy my desk so easily and quickly. It's awesome. Of course, I'm about to get it all out again because I'm going to be working on something else, but you know. Silly. Yeah, thanks for joining me, guys, and I will see you next week. Or actually, if you're in my classes, then next week. Because this is my week off and I'm not working this week. See? This is me not working. What do I do in my time off? I draw stuff. Yeah. Thanks for joining me. See you again soon. Bye, guys.